All right, homework day 7. We are simplifying complex fractions. A complex fraction just means you've got fractions within fractions. And this is really saying that you're taking 3/8 minus 1 divided by 7/4 plus 1. So if you wanted to check this problem with your calculator, we'll do that later. That's how you type it in. This top part divided by this bottom part, but on your calculator you'd have to use your parentheses. Without your calculator, the shortcut, and this is probably the alternate explanation, is to multiply each term by the common denominator. In this case, I have a denominator of this fraction of 8 and this one of 4, so my least common denominator would be 8. I'm going to multiply each of these terms times 8. With the fractions, I should be able to cancel the fractions out of there, right? So on the first one, the 8's are just going to cancel. 8 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 3, still 3 up there on top. Minus, here I'm just going to do 1 times 8 because I don't have a fraction, so I'm going to get 8. On the bottom, 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 1 times 8 is 8. Now that looks a whole lot easier to do than the first thing, right? So on the top, 3 minus 8 would be negative 5, right? And 14 plus 8 would be 22. Now, of course, we know on Alex that on the answer, they'll put the negative out in front, but we get negative 5 over 22. So, I did it on my paper, going to check it with my calculator. I'm going to check it with my calculator. This is how I want to type it in. Start with the parentheses. 3 fraction eighths minus 1, close the parentheses since I'm done with the top, divided by parentheses 7 fraction fourths plus 1, close my parentheses. Now, what shows up on your calculator?
Holy.
The right answer, right?
I was trying to do that last night, but it did.
So,
Must have been the parentheses.
the moral to the story is, because of the order of operations, we have to simplify this separately from this before we do our dividing, and to tell the calculator that, we put parentheses around it. So, if I move to number 2, it wants to go all the way down farther. First of all, if I do it without my calculator, my least common multiple here would be what am I going to multiply everything by?
2.
Nope.
Nope.
What are your denominators in your fractions? The 6 and the 7, right?
Oh.
So if I have a 6 and a 7, I have to use 42, which is 6 times 7, because they don't have anything in common. So although I'm going to use a big number, it's going to be okay. I'm going to take each term times 42. And I wrote 46 because I'm already thinking of the next part. Let's see if I can write a 42 there.
Hey, then you made me write 6.
So, I'm then going to cancel. 6 goes into 42 7 times. So 7 times the 7 on top is 49. Okay, done with that first one. The next one doesn't have a fraction. 2 times 42 is 84, right? On the bottom, 42 times 1 is 42, right? And then we have a fraction again. 7 goes into 42.
6.
6 times 10.
60.
So minus 60, right? So now on the top, we have to take 49 plus 84. 133. On the bottom, 42 minus 60.
18
Sign?
minus.
Minus 18. So we're going to get negative 133/18 because a positive divided by a negative makes that negative, right? Just for fun, let's check it with our calculator. Now the calculator probably will give you a mixed number first since we had an improper fraction and then we'll have to change it. But in parentheses, we're going to do 7/6 plus 2. Close my parenthesis, divided by, and then in parentheses, 1 minus 10 fraction sevenths. Close my parenthesis. When you hit equals, it says negative 7 and 7/18. To change it to the improper fraction, shift and the fraction button, negative 133/18. Okay? Try the next one on your paper. What's your least common multiple going to be? So I looked at that and said I have a denominator of 2 and a denominator of 4. I'm going to multiply everything by 4. If you used 8, 8 would work. Your numbers would just be bigger and you'd end up reducing at the end. Right? 2 times 4 is 8. I could use that if I wanted to. But I'm going to start out. 4 times 2 is just a plain 8 because I don't have a fraction to cancel with. Then I'm going to say, oh, 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14, so I'm going to have 8 minus 14 up on the top of my fraction. On the bottom, 4 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 7, just a 7 on the bottom of my fraction. So 8 minus 14 would be negative 6 over 7, which we know the negative would end up going in front, so negative 6/7 would be our answer. All right.